All right, so I'm back. Sorry for that. So the picture I'm going to use to teach us today. Let me share my screen. I believe you can see my screen.
Yeah.
Okay, so the picture I'm going to be using to teach us today is this one. Unfortunately, I would not be able to share some pictures or images because of like privacy. You get client privilege, all this kind of stuff. So that you don't have your client's pictures flying around, that kind of stuff. Well, I'll just use this like explain the basics of adjusting for exposure and stuff I listed earlier. And is there anyone that is here that was not in our last class? I'm guessing no one. Okay. So where are you? Let's go. Let's open Photoshop. Okay, so that's and just like our last class, because it's a raw image, Photoshop would open it in Capture One for us. I say Capture One, sorry, in Camera Raw. Sorry, beg your pardon. Open it in Camera Raw for us because Photoshop cannot work with Photoshop cannot work with raw images directly. That's to convert it to either JPEG or like a format that that it can work on. Yeah, so there we go. So this is Capture One. I'm just going to do basic adjustments. Going to rush through it so we can, because we don't have too much time. So like I said, start with auto, and basically a lot of people will like watch me edit. And the thing about editing is that different people have different styles. Yeah. So for me, what might work for me might not work for you. So the idea is I will show you how to achieve some things, and you can take from it and then apply your own spin on it. You get. So if for me this picture is too bright, and for you it's just right. I might leave it this way. For me it's too bright, I might just drop exposure a bit, like different things like that. So that's what we'll just work off. We'll just take from that's the best way to like teach this stuff. I can't teach you how to see images from my eyes, from my point of view. Yeah, like creativity wise. Yeah. So I'm just going to teach you how to achieve what the looks you want, the basic stuff basically. Yeah. So let us get into it. We don't talk too much. So my job exposure a bit, white shadows. So basically it's just the basic adjustments. You can always edit and adjust most of this later on in Photoshop. You can even still open camera raw in Photoshop later on. So this is just supposed to be like for your exposure settings and all. So I'm pretty much fine with this for now. Um, I can work with this in Photoshop. So just open as a copy, and something that is very important for you as a photographer is that when when you have a photo shoot here, you make sure that you have a good makeup artist, at least a very decent one, because a makeup artist can a bad makeup artist can make you regret taking any job, because at the end of the day you have to be correcting and editing. This makeup here is quite decent. It's not the best, but it's workable. Yeah, because if you look at it, hold on. If you look at zoom, zoom. So if you hold on my tablet. So if you look at our skin here, you notice that the makeup is not really smooth. It's not really smooth. I have some patches here, stuff like that. So small stuff like this, like they just make the image look a bit off. You get, and those are some of the things you'll be fighting with if you don't get good makeup artist. Sorry, please give me a minute. I want to adjust my my tablet. What's going on? All right, I think I've gotten it now. Okay, so we're back here. I think I've fixed it. Have I? I hope I have. Still giving me the wrong output. Why? I used the track today. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what's going on with this pen tablet. I I'm really sorry. I trying to find the problem with it. It's just guys. I'm sorry. Please, I have to restart my system. Sorry. Please give me like 2-3 minutes. I'm very sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. So while my system is restarting, I've done it on my phone. I wanted to ask, yeah, are we fine with the classes holding at 7 p.m. or 8 p.m.? Like, do we prefer to continue to this 8 p.m. or seven? We want to move back to 7 p.m. No response. Can you guys hear me?
Sorry, what did you say?
I said, while my system is rebooting, yeah, do we prefer? I wanted to ask a question. If we would prefer to go back to 8 p.m. and go back to 7 p.m., or we should continue with 8 p.m. for our classes. And I would like a lot of people to answer so we can get general consensus.
I'm fine with both times.
PM, please.
Anyone,
8 p.m.
anyone that is favorable.
Yeah,
8 p.m. is
okay.
okay, sure.
Okay. 8 p.m. So I think 8 p.m. Bye.
All right. Back. I think I sorted the issue. All right, so let's get into it. Yeah. All right. So sorry for the delay, guys. So what we just did in camera was like our basic exposure adjustments, like just the brightness, the contrast. Basically, that's that. So what we're going to do next is just to clean up the background and the images. The background, this is was a seamless paper backdrop, so it's kind of clean, but I'm going to show you how, in case it's not this clean, how you can clean up some of this, all of these smudges. If it's like more exaggerated, if it's more than this, just for teaching sake, a lot of this would fly, but basically I have to just clean it up in case it's like a white backdrop and it's dirtier than this. All right, so good. Oh boy, what have I done again? So to do that, you just duplicate your background layer, Command J, or you left click on it and pick duplicate layer to create another one. So the idea is that you have a backup in case anything you overdo this one, you can always go back and restart from your background layer. So you always want to make sure you have like a background layer that you can come back to. All right. So let me look for a smudge you can clean. It's okay. So if you zoom in here, you see there's a small stain here, small one here. So these ones are so minor. You can just take your spot it into this, the one that looks like a bag or a bandage with a circular of this one. Basically, that does that. And then you can increase your brush size to the size of the smudge or a decent brush size and just brush on it. The computer will do a good job of cleaning it up for you to blend it with other areas. Like I said, my bad. This paper backdrop was actually pretty clean, so there's not really much to do on there. But let's check out our skin. The idea is use the same same tool to clean the backdrop and to clean our skin. So let's say you want to clean some of these pimples, some of these blemishes on our skin. Same tool, just come over it and just brush on it. It's fairly as simple as that. Just make sure that it's not too big. The brush size is not too big, so you're not overdoing what you should be cleaning. So small brush sizes to small particles, and you don't overdo. You don't go too much at once. Just take it a step at a time. So if you overdo it and you want to correct, you just need to do Control Z to take you back. Same thing. Just slightly, just touch it. Don't need to do too much. Basically, just to clean up the pimples or any. She has pretty good skin, so it's not too much. There's some pictures that the pimples might be a lot, so you have to like sit down and in such cases, yeah, you might not have good good you might not be able to use this tool because there are a lot of rough places, yeah. Because I explained in last class that the difference between this object selection tool and this spot healing brush tool and the clone stamp tool was that on the clone stamp tool you don't select the area the computer will choose from. Sorry, clone stamp tool. I thought I clicked on that. You don't select the area the computer will choose from. So when you press Alt or Option on a Mac or PC or Windows, you select where you want the computer to choose from. So let's say this is a good part of the skin. If I press Alt and I click on here and I come over here, I've released my Alt now. If I click here, you notice that there's a cross. So that cross is telling me that the computer is taking the skin on the cross side and bringing it over to the brush, to the side I'm brushing over. So it's selecting over from wherever I pick, and it's bringing it over here. That's the difference. That's what the close tab does. But the spot healing brush, the computer does that for you. You don't select where you want. The computer would have picked, would just analyze and pick a decent place. So if you have a model or if you have a very rough skin, there's no really like a decent place for the computer to choose for you. So in cases like that, you are advised to like use the clone tab tools, which is S, the shortcut S, and then you just select maybe a good area, something decent yourself. So you're not relying on Photoshop to Photoshop's algorithms to do that for you. Yeah. So basically, there's, like I said earlier, there's not a lot to clean up here. They would work on other pictures that there will be a lot to let me see if I can find one. There'll be a lot to clean, maybe a lot of blemishes, maybe someone that does not really have very smooth skin. Where can I go to? Let's see. Let me look for a picture if I can find one quickly. It might not be the roughest, but at least one that we can use to show more example. Let's see this one. So I'm not going to do much here, just so I can use it as an example. I don't edit anything. So good. So if you notice, he has pimples. So we can just same thing. Make sure you duplicate this layer, Command J or Control J, and come over here and pick your tool. The shortcut is J. And like I told you before, there might be more than one tool with same shortcuts. This shortcut for this is also J. So make sure that when you press the shortcut, it goes to the right tool. So you just literally click on the pimples and whatever else surface. Like I said earlier, if you notice that the place Photoshop is selecting from is not very good, so it's bringing in a rough place to like a rough skin texture to where you're trying to clean up, you can use your clone stamp, the S, and you can select yourself. And you can be the one to do the selection yourself. So basically, that's how that works. Yeah. Then if you've cleaned up the minor blemishes, because you don't want to do too much by like under this, you still do more under photo frequency separation, so you don't want to do too much at first, so you don't lose texture. So you don't lose texture. So you don't want to do too much at first, so you don't lose texture. So then I'm going to show you how to do the frequency separation manually, and I'm also going to give you an action. So basically, what an action is an action basically works in the sense that normally if you want to do something, you might have to go to image, select it, maybe you have to come here, select new, do it one by one, basically. So or an action is basically like a shortcut. So if I come over to action here and I press and I pick any of these actions, let me pick eyes and teeth whitening, it will run the whole shortcut. It's going to do everything for me. All I have to just do is come and work with it. Now, if I wanted to do this normally, I would have to create a photo filter layer, a black and white layer, a curves adjustment layer. Then I have to clip this onto this. But basically, the action is like a shortcut. So I'm going to give you a shortcut for frequency separation. I'm going to give you the action. So I have a basic action and I have advanced. I'm going to give you one. I'm not sure which one is. I still have the file for, but I'm going to share it to the group chat. So basically, let me delete the action. So basically, you just come click on it, pick your radius, and you press OK, and the action has created your files for you, your layers for you. But if you're going to do it yourself, I'm going to teach you how to do it yourself in case you want to be doing, in case you want to just know or have the technical know how to do it. So once you have your layer, you need to have a layer. You duplicate your layer twice. So I have one, I have another one. But better still, let's start from scratch and just delete the layer. So you duplicate your layer twice. Name the one under, you rename it. You name it low or whatever you want, or color. Some people use color and texture. You can also name, and you name the one up high. So some people prefer to name the one down low color and the one up texture, or you can name the one down low and the one up high. So you come to your layer and you come up here to filter and blur. Then you go to Gaussian blur. So the whole idea of picking your radius is you come to the face or you come to any feature, and then you're trying to blur the image until you can zoom out a bit, until you can see our features here, but they are blurry. They're not very sharp. Like now, you can still see our eyes. You can see our eyebrows. You can still see defining lines. You can see the border of our face. They are still sharp. They're not so blurry. So there's a decent range between when it's too small and when it's too much. So if you stop at 7, you're still fine. Some people go as far as 14. Some people stop at 10. You're still fine. There's a very wide gray area for you to be all right. So sometimes I use 7. That works for me, depending on the size of the image, depending on the on how clear it was, the kind of camera I used to shoot it. So the detail the detail you already have. So there's no fixed radius. So there's a lot of gray area you can play with. You can use 8, 9, 10. So let's go with 10. At 10, we still have details. It's blurry, but you can still see. So I just press OK, and that's what you do there. Then you come to your eye layer. You come to image, and you go to apply image. This will come up, and then this is where you need to make sure you don't just press OK. You need to come down and come here and go to you leave this as the source, adjust the layer, and you pick your low layer because you're trying to apply the image from this low layer to this high layer. Then you pick your blending to subtract. Where you subtract? To subtract. Where you know you're almost right is this will start turning gray or ash or this color. So and your opacity will be 100, your scale 2, and your offset 128. These ones you adjust them and they become constant. You don't need to change them. These are like someone has calculated this down, and they've given us basically that you just your scales to your offset 128, your opacity 100, and once you have this, you can press OK. Now this is not all you want to be working on, so you come here and you change your blending mode. Like I explained blending mode in the last class. This is why it's very important and imperative that you're in that last class, because I've explained a lot of. I was literally talking for the whole hour, explaining all of this. So if you're not in the last class, please, when the video comes out, make sure you watch it. So you come down, you pick a linear light. So you notice it has gone back to normal. The only thing we change is the blending mode. So you put on linear and that's all right. And now you have your 2 layers. So all of that we just went through here. I could have achieved by just coming and picking basic frequency separation. Just clicking once. So that's what an action does. Yeah, it's like a shortcut. So you can create actions by recording them. All of this you can watch more videos on YouTube on how to create actions. Well, there are a lot of free actions on the internet. Just make sure you're downloading them from a good source. Yeah. So back to our frequency separation. So I'm going to press command and select this one so I can group them. You can rename your group so that it's detailed, and you can rename it frequency separation just for so that it's detailed. Yeah. So there are different techniques under frequency separation. There are different everyone has a lot of different methods or techniques to retouch. There's the Gaussian blow method, similar to what we just did on filter. And there's a mixer brush method. I use the mixer brush method because I still do another type of retouching, another method of retouching, which is called excuse me, which is called dodge and burn. So because I'm still going to dodge and burn, I do my frequency separation is very light. I just use it to blend the shadows to the highlights and the midtones. That's just basically what I use my frequency separation for. But there are a lot of people that use frequency separation only or majorly as their main retouching technique. So I'm going to teach you how I use it, and that's just go to the low layer and you go to your brush, mixer brush. This is not your mixer brush, this is your normal brush. Your mixer brush would have a drop beside it. Basically, mixer brush does not use any of these colors. It doesn't use either your primary or secondary color. Your mixer brush works with the color on the skin. So it's like blends it. It will pick the color on the skin and blend it. That's what it does. That's what it does basically. It mixes the color that you're brushing over. Unlike your normal brush, if I pick this normal brush, it's just going to come here and come and pour this black because it's my primary color. So you don't want to use your normal brush for this. You want to use your mixer brush. Your mixer brush might be under brush. Like I said, I've edited and adjusted my workspace. For you, it might be here. You just have to right click and it will be under the brush. Might be the third one here. For me, it's down here. So basically, you just pick that. And then I use you can use a black and white layer you can create a black and white layer up here, just so you can see the modes more. You can come in and adjust it. You can drop the red. It's just basically for you to see where I'm not doing any brushing. I'm just showing you where the skin tones meet, where the tones meet. So this is your highlight here. You can see this is like a shadow. So you can see the line where they meet. This is your midtone. You can see. So basically, the black and white layer will just help you so that you're not over brushing or you're not doing it too much, and it will just help you define the areas. I don't use the black and white layer because I have an action an invert layer and action. Where are you? Sorry. So here you go, invert check layer. So it's called a check layer because you can use it to check the layers. If you notice, it's much more defined than the black and white. Black and white is giving me too much of, I don't know how to explain it, grace. I should not have deleted it to show you. So on your invert, I'll try and give you this action. So for invert check, if I still have the file, you can just come to levels and you drop this down a bit. So if you notice on the invert check layer, whatever is black, yeah, is the bright part of a picture. For example, a teeth. the teeth here are is color is very black. So if you put it off, you know that that's the white part of the picture. So you just have to put that in mind. But on frequency separation, it doesn't really affect anything. But just put that in mind that whatever is light, whitish, that's black. Whatever is so can work with this. So you come back to frequency separation group, pick your low layer, and then come to so put it in mind. Is your low layer used to brush? Your low layer is the color layer. So that's where the color is on. Your eye layer is your texture layer. So just put that at the back of your mind. So take our brush, we drop our flow. I've explained all of this in our last class. Basically, our flow is very close to how wet or how much you want the colors on the brush to flow. So you can drop your flow a bit, 20, 30. Basically, just reduce the intensity. I don't want to do too much on frequency separation, so I can drop my flow a lot because I'm not aiming to do all my retouching with frequency separation. So, and then you just pick a low layer and you can zoom out. You don't want to be too close to your picture, so you're not over editing. So you can zoom out a bit and just brush. So this is where the shadow meets a mid-tone. Just brush along it slightly. You're not trying to overdo it. I'm not trying to overdo it. That might be what you're going for. So you just brush slightly where they meet. Meet there, there's a line there, brush. So if I put off, you see that there's slight light effect. Look at this before and after. I've not done anything yet, but basically little changes are already going on. So you just do that around. You're just trying to blend in. Brush a bit for this. Just trying to blend in the tones on our skin. Like I said, I'm not trying to use it to as the only retouching method. It's my first method for retouching. So just to blend in this a bit. So this is where the shadows meet the midtones. Blend that in. Blend this in a bit. So blend that in. So you try, and you can always come back to check. So just to make sure you have not made a mistake that you can't see in the inverted area. So there are people that can spend up to 30 minutes on this. Sometimes I can spend up to 10, 20 minutes just doing this, just trying to make sure that I'm not overdoing it, taking my time. Because something about frequency separation, it's very easy to overdo it. For example, let me just try and just try and rush something. If you notice now, I've overdone that place. I've lost all the highlights on that cheek. That doesn't look normal. So rushing your frequency separation might not be the best bet for you. Let me undo that quickly. So notice, so you just want to take your time and ease into it. If it's your major, if it's going to be a major retouching method, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with only using frequency separation. But for me, I don't know how to use only frequency separation and get the desired result I want. So, like for some people don't want over retouch pictures that are like too retouch pictures. So some photographers are fine with this. I'm fine with this. I can work with this. But if it's for like a beauty shoot or you're trying to like a skincare, you may want to retouch it and make it the skin more definite and even out all these imperfections in our makeup and our skin tones, all of that. Then that's how you use your brush on the low layer. So you come back to your eye layer, and then on the eye layer, we do eye layer is a texture layer. That's where we deal with all these textures on our skin, all of these all these dots. So for a model that has really rough skin, you would have done your basic cleanup of blemishes, big maybe a lot of pimples. You'd have done all of that previously, but if you notice she doesn't have too much, just a little, and all of these are textures. You don't want to over clean it and make her skin look unnatural. There's some people that that's what they want. They want to look all natural. For me, I don't like doing that. It makes the skin look plastic. It doesn't bring out like nature. It doesn't look natural. So I don't do that. So basically what you want to do is just come to eye layer and pick either this your spot healing brush tool or your clone stamp tool. This one. This is your clone stamp tool. Like it looks like a stamp. So you can either work with your clone stamp tool or your spot. And I just explained in this same class the difference between both of them. They work alike. One is that you're going to do more work choosing where you want the computer to select from, choosing where you want the brush to select from. So up our brush size, clean that up a bit. Don't want to do too much because you don't want to lose texture in our skin. Remember, we're still going to do it. We're still going to do dodge and burn, so I'm not trying to clean up everything. But if you're not going to do dodge and burn, you might as well like go all out in this and so on. So that clean up. You know, if you noticed they are disappearing and they are going as easy as that. So I want to leave one of those let me try and look for it. I want to leave some of this because they're not like pimples, they're like marks, like burn marks. So you don't want to remove all identifying marks on someone's skin because they're like a part of who they are. You don't want to turn someone to another person totally. So permanent marks, like maybe a bet mark, that as long as it's like if it's like a client, it's just for a birthday shoot or something like that. So bear marks, stuff like that, you might just want to leave because it's part of who they are. And the whole idea is to encourage positivity, body positivity, because except they ask you to remove it, then that's fine. But at the same time, it's all up to you and your taste and your preference. That's what everything is up to around this. So I don't need this EVA check layer now. So I'm going to do that. So I'm pretty fine with this. So this is a before and after, and that was just us rushing through it, not taking our time, just trying to explain it to you so we don't waste too much time. We already used 45 minutes. So before, after, before. So that's frequency separation. So you can take your time and you blend out all of these imperfections, clean it up, make it smoother just with frequency separation. But I use dodge and burn as well. So I have an action for that. Honestly, if I still have all these files, if I still have my action files, I'll give it to you. Or you can send me a message to remind me tomorrow on WhatsApp. I'll send it to you, or I'll create a Google. I'll send a link where you can download it from Google Drive or something. So basically, for dodge and burn, or before we go into dodge and burn, does anybody have any question for frequency separation? Okay, I guess we are good. All right. So yeah, my action for dodge and burn, you can just come. My action for dodge and burn is complete. Where are you? Complete dodge and burn. So this is here. So I just click on that. It opens everything for me. So it opens 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 folders for me. My EVA check layer, that's this black and white one. Global dodge and burn, micro dodge and burn. 2 micro dodge and burns, 1 global dodge and burn. So basically, yeah, I think I bought this action from Chris Mason. I think I got this action from Chris Mason, as a YouTuber. So I'll try and give you out for free if you text me for it. If this just remind me to check. Honestly, I'm not sure if I still have the files. So so we have two micro dodge and burns and 1 global dodge and burn. So micro dodge and burn, this folder is the folder you use for smaller imperfections, the small ones, maybe just to smoothen out the skin. Then the global one we use for the overall face. So basically I'll show you how to do this quickly. So get on to it fast. So inside your micro dodge and burn, you have two layers. Basically, these are just normal curve layers. It's just a normal curve layers. Basically, you don't even need an action to create any of this. So let me just show you in case you want to create it without an action. So you just come here. This is your curves, or you can come down here and pick curves, and then you just drop it for dodge. You just drop it, and you see there's a mask, and you just invert the mask. Command I or Control I. That's inverted. And for your bone, same thing. The curves layer, and that way you just increase the brightness, not too much, and then you invert it to Command I. And then you just press Command or Shift, and you shall select both of them, and you just put it in a group. And I can name the group micro dodge and burn or global dodge and burn. They're basically the same thing, just all folders of or curves layers. So you can create that for you. You can create that yourself. Very basic, very easy. So basically, working with this, we're working with the layer mask, not with the curves layer, not with the curves adjustment side. Working with the mask on the layers. So you just come and select. So what this does, what dot does is, so you work with your brush on mask layer. So normal brush, you select your brush and you want white. I've explained how masks work in the last class. So whatever, when this is blacked out, whatever is painted white on the mask would show through. So we want your white brush, and then I'm going to show you what it does. This the effect. So the white, the dodge layer brightens. It makes the face brighter, and the bone layer makes it darker. So you must put that in mind, in your back of your mind, because we're going to be working with the check layer on. And when check layer is on, it is inverted. Remember, when the check layer is on, when the invert check layer is on, this will be inverted. So when we burn and it darkens, by the time we put on check layer, that will look bright, but it's inverted. Good. So let's go back. Let's back, and back. Yeah. All right. So basically, let me just get into it. So you see if I can show you better than I'm teaching you with my words. So I want to drop this a bit too dark for me. That works for me. That's fine. That's better. So close that up. And for me, for my micro, I come in a bit close. Now, I'm not the best retoucher on it, but this is how I do it. This is how I retouch my images. This is how I'll go about it. So the idea is for me to teach you the basics. You can go on the internet and learn more. Mason has, I think, a whole maybe like 4, 5, 6 videos, if not more, on just retouching, and is one of the best retouchers in Nigeria. One of the best photographer retouchers in Nigeria. I think he recently journeyed to Canada, so he's a very good retoucher, and he has a YouTube channel. So I've seen most of his videos, if not all. So you can watch Mason's retouching techniques, so you learn better, because we won't have that much time in these classes. So basically, remember, dodge would darken when it is inverted. I know it's kind of confusing now, but just if you just think about it, when the invert check layer is on, dodge brightens. But when it's off, when it's on, dodge darkens. So what you want to do, the whole idea of dodge and burn is the imperfection. We're trying to smoothen out. So places that are like this, we're trying to make them all dark. So it is smooth. So it's not like we're having dark lights, dark spots. So the job of micro dodge and burn, what it's supposed to do is supposed to smoothen everything out and make it level, so we don't have this kind of bumps. These are dark bumps, light bumps, different dark spots all over. So we'll take our dodge layer and then we'll come to our brush. Then you don't want the effect to be too much when you're working with skin. So you come to your where are we our flow. You're going to drop your flow to two, literally two. So when you're using two, you're less likely to overdo any dodge. See how long it's taking for the effect to show, just because I've dropped my flow that much. So drop your brush size, and the idea is just to smoothen it out. So this particular technique can take you an hour, 2 hours, just to get it to perfection. But you can always it doesn't have to take you that long to see effect for you to see how well you can do. I think I have a okay. Maybe at the end after I show you, I would show you one that I think I'm almost done, or one that I edited a long time ago, something like that. I think I still have a PSD file, a Photoshop file. So basically, let me show you the before and after. You notice the light parts are not dark. So the idea is to smoothen it out gradually until you get to this overall dark spot, and do that all over the picture. So the light places, we don't want all these patches. We want them to be even out. Somewhere like here, if you notice this place is very dark and the surrounding areas are light. So we'll just burn this a little. We'll burn this part a little and then um do likewise for the other parts, etc. etc. So I'm trying to rush. Almost it's almost 9 o'clock. So basically burning, dodging. So dodging will darken when our reverse check layer is on. But if our reverse check layer is on, wherever we dodge is lighter. You notice this place is like high. So you want to have check layer on just so that you can see our effect more in real time. There's something about black and white that just makes you see the difference. No color, no disturbance, no saturation, all those rubbish disturbing your eyes. So you don't want to overdo it, and you at the same time you want to do it. So it's just finding this dodge and burn is literally practice. Even the people that are really good at it, they'll keep telling you that you grow, you keep growing. Pictures they edited 6 months ago, if they look at it today, they would see something that they would have done different. That's the whole idea of, and that's why we call ourselves creatives. Yeah, that we learn every day, and we learn from our past experiences. But you have to put yourself in a situation where you're able to learn. You can't just behave as if you know it all. You have to keep trying. I'm going to come to my burn layer and try and drop all these places. If you notice, there's some dark spots I don't want, stuff like that. And this is where I said a good makeup artist can reduce your work. It's part of what I meant. So a very very good makeup artist might have used some, I don't know, proper maybe foundation, it will be smoothened out already. There won't be a lot of these patches for you to work with. There won't be a lot of dark spots where there should be light spots. There won't be a lot of light spots where there should be dark spots. So it's going to be smooth, almost like a gradient. So it's going to be smooth. So, and that's what I mean by you're trying to get a good makeup artist, or at least someone very very decent. So for someone like you now, just want to darken this out. Remember, just try not to overdo it. So before and after. So these are before. If you notice, it's a lot more choppy. Seeing a lot of black white spot here. So what Michael has been able to do is has tried to even out a lot of this area. So basically, that's what you want to do throughout the whole face and the hand, but majorly the face. For the hand, they're not as sharp because when we're taking the picture, our focus on area is the eyes. So the sharpest area is the eye. But if it's a skincare product, you might want to work on the hand, smoothing all of this out. But basically, I immediately dodge and burn the face and the neck, and then I use a lot of more frequent separation for the arms, just to try and save time and reduce the workload. Remember my first time when I learned dodge and burn and I was trying it out. More my eyes, because I spent almost like an hour trying to make it perfect. To get just trying to But basically, you just have to keep practicing and trying. I still practice and try. That's why I still have a lot of my raw pictures on my laptop, not just in my hard drive, because I just sometimes open YouTube and just see a new technique, a new method. Even for this class, I still have to try and open YouTube and okay, just to make sure that everything I learned is still decent. It's still what is accepted. You get like just to make sure that I'm not teaching you stale stuff. So that's the whole idea. So I'm just trying to just rush up and do something so we can see the effect of the dodge and burn, of the micro dodge and burn. So while I'm doing this, I'm going to try and explain the global dodge and burn. So in the, I don't know if there's anyone here that's done makeup before, but there is a there's something makeup artists do, and they create highlights on the cheek, all of that, and the forehead. Basically, there's a way they don't just apply foundation all over the face. They have spots and areas where they put particular highlight shadows, just bring out contour on the face to make the subjects or the model more beautiful. So the global dodge and burn is born from that idea, from what makeup artists do. So basically, global dodge and burn does not really focus on all this time. It doesn't come in this close, yeah. So I think I can use at least this is decent enough. So for us for the explanation. So this is before and these are after, before and after. You can see the minor details that have changed. So you can do this more, you can do this for an hour, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Depends on how fast you do it and how effective it is for you. So basically, let's see, before, after. So if you notice, it's just a tad bit smoother. So why I use this is because there's less chance for you to lose your texture while using this. So if you notice, there's this stuff here. Let's try and tackle that. There's the line up on a file. Let's try and tackle that up here. So you can go burn, but this particular one you could have gotten out with frequency separation. So it's the same idea. You're just trying to blend in everything to make it smooth. You don't want anywhere to just look abruptly bright or darker than the surrounding areas, because that's what makes pimples stand out. They might be darker or brighter than the other areas, so it's not smooth. So that's the whole idea behind micrododabon. So let's just work with this for now. So oops, see, like I said, you can easily overdo it, and I'm going to overdo it over here. So let's just go back. What happened? Remember, that's why it's good to check. I just check on what's going on. I don't even remember one of these places. So you have to be very careful. Like I said, if not. So let's just try and recover this. It's not a more undoing. Go to brush. Yeah, that's fine. I'm trying to look at what is wrong. This is it's coming in too strong. So you can see the effect of the burn and the brush first time. So just trying to smoothen it out, yeah. I don't know what happened there. I feel like touch something. I do not know, because or the effect was not taking place immediately, and when it came in, everything was scattered. So that's another thing to be careful of. When you're retouching, especially on the laptop, you have to be careful. Sometimes you'll be doing something and you won't see the change won't come in, and you just continue thinking that okay, that's that what you are doing has not taken effect yet, or what you're doing is not yet too much, and then suddenly everything just comes, and you're like, ah, where did that come from? That wasn't there before, that kind of stuff. So you also need to be careful of that. So let me try and zoom so you can see it. So before and after. So just with just to smoothen out. So you notice that even a picture that was already fine, the touching was decent before, now is better, just with small micro dodge and burn. So back to global dodge and burn. So basically, yeah, what we want to do here is this is the simplest part of dodge and burn. You just come here and take a big brush, big for brush, take a big brush, a decent, not too big, a decent size brush. And you want to dodge where is dark. Remember, and this is with inverted check layer on. So we just want to dodge these spaces, just make the dark spaces darker and the light spaces lighter, because the makeup artist has already done all the highlights and shadows. So we're just trying to enunciate it and accentuate. Is that the word? Basically, we're just trying to make it more pronounced, to make it bigger or more obvious. So, and you come to your bone, and then you do the same thing to the bone layer. So the light spaces, you just, the white spaces, you just. So I'm going to show you what this does. Oh my God, that's why. So on that thing, you want to make sure your hardness is on 0. I'm sorry this is coming late, but you want to make sure you're using a soft brush. It's very soft round brush. I think our hardness went up at some point. That's why that place was very. So you want to make sure your hardness is on 0. So please make sure you check that. I thought I said that, or I checked that already. My bad. So if you notice, this is looking a bit too strong because of our hardness was up. I was wondering why it was coming up strong earlier. So you can come here to your opacity and just reduce that a bit. Like I said, opacity. That's why, as I mentioned, opacity in last class is basically like transparency or the strength or the effect of that layer and the remaining layers. So you can drop that a bit, and the effect is still there. Honestly, I feel like we should just redo this global dodge and burn. But because of time, we'll manage it. It's a bit too strong because of the hardness. So normally the effect should be something just this strong, not too much. So basically, yeah, let me put off our micro. What's your this is what global does. Let me try and bring it up a bit, chops it too much. If you notice, the light is getting better, the dark is getting, so it's like contrast. It like brings contrast on and brings about the effect that the makeup artist was trying to put out, the highlights, the shadows, the contour, all of that. So let me bring up a bit. Let me take it to some 50. So that's what it does. So this, beside your micro dodge and burn, you just takes your image on that level here. So this is not perfectly retouched. There are still a lot of stuff you can do. You can even this black spot out. This here, you can make it smoother. Basically, you do not want to be seeing things like this. Let me take a brush. You do not want to be seeing things like this. You don't want to be knowing. You don't want to be knowing what is going on. Black now. Honestly, I don't know what's going on in my Photoshop. But basically, you don't want to be seeing these lines. You don't want to be knowing where anything is missing the other. So you don't want to be knowing where all of these are meeting. What else? So this you can see, bring this down. If you notice, this place is blacker than this place. This place is like bronze. So this is on that time I was mentioning about makeup artists. This is something a makeup artist would have easily corrected, and then you are going to spend like another 10 minutes trying to blend this together, even skin tones, trying to create some gradients that will match, if you understand what I'm trying to say. But basically, just do that. Basically, it took our image from. Let me group this so we can see it. From this to this. So we went from this image to this image. So that's just to show you what frequency separation and dodge and burn can do. If anyone has any question, you can ask now, because we'll soon be ending the class. So does anyone have any questions? I'm guessing no one then. All right. Oh, sure. So we've taken an image from this to this. So this is a decently retouched image that works for us. Then I said I would give you eyes and teeth whitening action. So let me just show you how to use it. So when I drop it, so basically you want to come to this layer, the mask on this layer, pick your brush, and then you need to make sure it's a soft brush. Soft brush. And I selected on that layer, and you want to make sure it's in white. Then just zoom in, and you just paint over the teeth. Now a lot of these actions are very strong, so you want to make sure that when you're done, you check the opacity or the feel, and just drop it a bit. So in just a few minutes, we've done our eyes and teeth whitening. So we went from this to this. Now this is too white for me. It doesn't look, the whole idea is to look natural, not to look like a painting. So you can just drop this like 70, 60. Okay, and that's more natural looking. So if you want the eyes and teeth whitening action or the other actions, just send me a message. So let me go back here. So I'm going to stop presenting. So does anyone have any question? Anu, Simi,
No.
Ayo. Okay.
No.
So all of you comprehend it?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. You're just saying yes.
I'm sure.
Okay. So we won't be doing too much of dodge and burn and frequency separation again, because it kind of consumes a lot of time, and I don't know, it's not so enjoyable. Although you might like the effect, but it takes a lot of time. So from maybe our next class, it might be tomorrow instead of Wednesday, because I'm going out on Wednesday. Our next class might be tomorrow or Thursday. Shall would just do normal editing, won't retouch, we'll just do clean up. Then there's a part of that background that was slightly was not in the there's a part that we could have adjusted. Let me see if I can quickly show you the left side of the screen. There's a part, yeah. So this could have been easily I don't know why I skipped my mind to do that. So it could have been easily patched or fixed. So let me see if I can quickly just explain a quick method to do it. So you can just create a new layer. So put this up here. So a very easy method to way to do this is just to take your, you can either use your lasso tool or your patch tool. So the patch tool is like a very, 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 very easy quick method. You just select, and once you selected, you just drag. You just drag. You can just drag, and or you can come up here and drag from here. Then this command, you can deselect, then just analyze this last place. So just come down, just select. Then if you notice that's quickly sorted that whole stuff out. You can now come to your mixer brush down here and just don't overdo this one. You can drop your flow. So it's already low and just brush it in. So basically we've done that in how many seconds? Like 5-10 seconds. So very quick, very fast, very easy method of doing that. Okay, so I hope we got that. The other methods to do that, but if it's that small, you can easily use a patch tool. All right, so time has gone. I'll be ending the class soon, so I've stopped the recording already. So if there's anything you want to say or you want to let me know, maybe a review what you want, what you'd have expected, that kind of stuff, so that I can take that into consideration for next class. Anyone? I know how to hear you. Any review, any contribution or question?
I don't know. There's one picture I saw that the skin, there are particles like, let me say, natural skin, but they've edited it. The skin was, there are some particles on the skin. It was looking natural though, but I don't know. Maybe I'll share the picture with you to see how you can really get that too.
Okay, they've edited it already, but
Yes,
there's still textures.
yes, on the skin,
Okay.
and it's making it look natural.
Okay, how the person did that?
Yes.
Okay, see. It's the same way we've done this. It's just the a matter of how far you want to go, the level, how deep you want to do it. Yeah. So it's the same way
Okay.
we've done all of this, especially on your frequency separation. The same way, I just did the light brushing, I just blended. But
Okay. Okay.
if you brush it more, you will get that similar effect, something like that.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
But there's frequency separation, you just have to be careful. There's very little grace between doing it and overdoing it. Before you know, it becomes very smooth like plastic. And then I am not a retoucher. That's another thing to mention. I can't call myself a retoucher. I know how to retouch small images, but I cannot retouch for skincare, all those kind of things.
Okay.
So
Okay. Okay.
that kind
Okay.
of stuff, yeah. Most photographers that cannot retouch for skincare and all those kind of stuff, they will give their pictures out to retouchers because retouching
Okay.
at a pro level is on that thing entirely.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. You're welcome. So, any other question or contribution or review? How you preferred? What you would have preferred? How the class went for you? Or anything basically, etc. etc. Nobody. All right. So a kind class then. It was nice seeing you guys. Have a good night. All right. See you guys soon. Bye.
Thank you for the class.
You're welcome. You're welcome.